Season the Witch brought us a lot of major changes to our sandbox, and more specifically, our PvP sandbox. Starting this season, range is now decoupled from our zoom, and rangefinder will no longer be increasing the range of our weapons. These are big fundamental changes, guys. On top of that, Bungie has specifically tuned the minimum and maximum range for each weapon archetype. Now, we're going to be covering all these sandbox changes, guys, but I wanted to cover range because this shifts the meta. This is a monumental change on the scale of airborne effectiveness. So today, we're going to be going through a number of exotic primary weapons and a handful of legendary weapons that we deem the current best options in the game for PvP. And then we're going to be comparing where the range sat before this season and where they sit now. Now, I do want to mention that we only tested out a few special weapons, as pretty much everything else is in line to where they were before, but we do have two special weapons that we did test pre and post. With that being said, guys, let's begin. Starting with hand cannons. Base range in Season 21 was between 22.4 meters and 35 meters. Those were the parameters. Now, base plus rangefinder in Season 21 was 24.64 meters up to 38.5 meters. Now the new base. We have the floor being picked up in Season 22 to 24 meters, but with the ceiling being just 1 meter shy of the previous rangefinder range pre-Season 22 at 37.5 meters. Now, what does this mean for our exotics? Pre-Ace of Spades was hitting at 34 meters. With Memento Mori, it was hitting around 31 meters, close to 32 meters. Now, post-Ace of Spades has jumped up 2 meters to 36, with Memento Mori hitting around 31 meters. And that's actually because Bungie nerfed Memento Mori. Ace of Spades, when Memento Mori is active, previously had a 10% damage fall-off range penalty. Now, this penalty has been increased to 15%, a slight nerf to offset the buff it got in its neutral state. Now, Malfeasance. Pre-Malfeasance was hitting at 31 meters. Post, 33. Pre-Hawkmoon, a rangefinder roll at 62 range, was hitting at 34 meters. Now, the same range stat at 62, but my Eye of the Storm roll was hitting at 31 meters. These were the pre-values. Post, rangefinder, 33 meters. Eye of the Storm roll at 62 range, also 33 meters. Lumina, pre-Season 22, 31 meters. Post, 33 meters. Thorn, pre, 29 meters. I hated it, man. Post, though, Thorn is actually hitting at 31 meters. Actually very close to 32, which is greatly appreciated. Now, last word. Pre, from the hip, last word was hitting at 17 meters. Now, post, from the hip, 17 meters. We only bring this up because, well, you never really know what might slip through the cracks. Somebody did come out of the stream, though, yesterday and say last word is popping off. So we'll try it. But range-wise, nothing has changed here. Crimson, pre, 32 meters. Post, still 32 meters. Bungie noted that it now has a 1.3 times ADS damage fall-off scalar. It previously had an intrinsic 5% damage fall-off range penalty, and that has been removed. Sunshot, pre-Season 22, 32 meters. Post, Sunshot is now hitting at 34 meters. Very nice. Ariana's Vow, 90 meters. Pre-Season 22, and post, still 90 meters. Spare Rations. Now, this roll has 61 range, hits at 31 meters. With opening shot, 34 meters, but post at 61 range now sits at 33 meters. Opening shot, elevating that up to 36 meters. Now, All Stringer, previously at 76 range with rangefinder, it would hit up to 36 meters. Post, though, All Stringer is now hitting at 35 meters. Now, moving on to our aggressive hand cannons. Base range pre-Season 22 was 25.2 meters to 39.2 meters. Now, with rangefinder, this actually cranked up our floor to 27.72 meters, all the way up to 43.12 meters. Now, the new base for Season 22 is 27 meters on the floor with a ceiling of 40 meters. So yeah, substantially less than that of rangefinder, but still more than base. Now, pre-Sturm with the Catalyst was hitting at 38 meters. Now, Sturm is hitting at 40 meters. Now, we have an Igneous here with 95 range. Pre-Season 22, it was hitting at 39 meters, with opening shot elevating that up to 40 meters. Now, post-Season 22, Igneous is now hitting at 40 meters, with opening shot bringing that up to 41 meters. Now, our round robin roll here, which has 86 range, keep away, pretty much all the goodies here, was hitting at 39 meters pre-Season 22. Post-Season 22, it's hitting at 41 meters. That's a good chunk of range there, guys. Next, we have auto rifles. Base range pre-Season 22 was 17.2 meters up to 33.2 meters, with rangefinder giving us 18.92 meters at the floor all the way up to 36.52 meters. Now, the new base, this is a substantial buff across the board. 18.28 meters at its floor all the way up to 39.53 meters. Now, this led us to test this on a number of exotic auto rifles. Quicksilver Storm pre was hitting at 26 meters. Post, it is now hitting at 30 meters. Monte Carlo, 26 meters. pre-season 22. Post, now hitting at 31 meters. Hard light, pre, 26 meters. Post, 31 meters. Now, Cerberus. Cerberus was actually getting its highest damage at 20 meters pre-season 22, with Cerberus now doing max damage up to 22 meters. Sweet Business, pre, 24 meters. Post, 27 meters. Cerberus Regime. Now keep in mind, Cerberus has two different firing modes, spinning up and dual speed. Spinning up is like its faster rate of fire. Dual speed is like its focus fire with much more range. But spinning up pre was doing 28 meters, with dual speed doing up to 38 meters. Post though, spinning up is now hitting up to 32 meters. Surprisingly though, its dual speed form has actually dropped a meter to 37 meters. I know, right? That was a big surprise. Now, Tommy's Matchbook, pre, 26 meters. Post, 30 meters. Big buffs. Vex Mythoclast, pre, 29 meters. Post is 33 meters. We actually need to look at Vex Mythoclast some more. It got a nerf in its rate of fire, which I know it equals out inside of PvE because Bungie buffed the damage, but inside of PvP, that is a hefty nerf, going from a 390 round per minute auto, or in this case a fusion, to a 360. Centrifuge, pre, 26 meters. Post, 30 meters. Rufus, at 64 range, was hitting at 28 meters. Same weapon, same range. Post, 33 meters. That is a big bump there in range. Amit, at 86 range, was hitting at 34 meters. Post, Amit is now hitting at 37 meters. Now, Ajo Bond, at 94 range, previously was hitting at 33 meters. But look at this bump there in range, guys. Post, it is now hitting at 39 meters. As a matter of fact, if you have a 100 range roll on Ajo Bond, you can hit up to just 40 meters, like just barely. Now, the clear takeaway for all of that, guys, in my opinion, is that rapid fires, things like Rufus, got impressively more range. And again, the idea behind these range changes that Bungie gave us is for range compression. They want the archetypes to not have too much deviation like they previously had. Now, submachine guns. Base range pre-season 22 was 12.6 meters to 22.4 meters. Now, with rangefinder, this gave us a floor of 13.86 meters to 24.64 meters. Now, the new base range is actually 14.42 meters, which is a big bump there from its floor over rangefinder and base pre-season 22, with a ceiling of 23.52 meters. And what does that mean? Let's start with our exotics. Osteostriga, at 90 range, pre-season 22, experienced damage fall off at 24 meters. Post-season 22, we're actually at 28 meters. As a matter of fact, if you were to bump that range up to 100, you would be sitting at 29 meters. Now, Huckleberry, pre-season 22, 19 meters. Post-season 22, now hits up to a whopping 19 meters. Yeah, you like that? Wrist Runner, pre, 19 meters. Post, 22 meters. Teraba, pre, 19 meters. Post, 20 meters. The Manicore, pre, 20 meters. Post, still at 20 meters. Now, Multimac. This one was an interesting one because I actually have a Model 6 scope, and with the decoupling there to range, I actually wanted to see where it sat. This one has 78 range with Iron Reach, and pre-season 22 is hitting up to 21 meters, very close to 22 meters. Now, post, it's actually hitting up to 23 meters. So it was a net positive here for Multimac. Now, Shiora, pre, at 100 range, was hitting at 24 meters. Post, it's now hitting at 23 meters. Again, an example of those outliers where Zoom was knocked down. Now, Immortal, that's the big one. Pre, at 80 range, with rangefinder, was hitting at 22 meters, really close to 23. Now, post, at 80 range, 22 meters. Matter of fact, if you have a keep away roll, you could get up to 23 meters. That is exactly why we kept a second roll. Now, Sidearms. Base range, pre-season 22 was 13.2 meters up to 16.8 meters. Now, with rangefinder, you would start off at 14.3 meters up to 18.2 meters. Now, the new base for season 22 is still 13.2 meters, but all the way up to 18 meters, which pretty much matches that of rangefinder, which brings us to Rat King. Rat King pre was hitting at 15 meters. Post, it's now hitting at 16 meters. Cryosthesia, pre, 16 meters. Post, 17 meters. Forerunner, pre, 50 meters. Post, still 50 meters. Final Warning, pre, 15 meters. Post, 16 meters. Devil's Ruin, pre, 15 meters, actually really close to 16 meters, with its laser beam hitting up to 19 meters. Now, post, Devil's Ruin is hitting up to 17 meters, with its trace mode actually getting a nerf to 18 meters. Now, keep in mind, guys, Bungie stated that Devil's Ruin previously had a 20% damage fall off range bonus. That bonus was reduced to 10% as a slight nerf to offset the buff that it got in its neutral state. Now, Trespasser, pre, 16 meters. Post, 17 meters. Traveler's Chosen, pre, 16, very, very close to 17 meters. Post, now hitting at 18 18 meters. Drain, pre, 18 meters. Post, now 17 meters. Buzzard at 64 range, pre, 17 meters. Post, now 16 meters. Now moving on to pulse rifles. Pre-season 22 base range was 25.5 meters up to 39.1 meters. With rangefinder, this was actually 28.05 meters to 43 meters. Now the new base range for season 22 is 25.5 meters up to 39.95 meters. Now starting with Vigilance Wing, pre, it was hitting at 35 meters. Post, it actually got a buff to 36 meters. Now Bad Juju, pre and post, both 32 meters. Outbreak Perfected, pre, 35 meters. Post, 37 meters. No Time to Explain, pre, 35 meters, with it being very close to 36 meters. Post, No Time is now hitting at 36 meters. Now Revision Zero, pre, the light burst and heavy burst, which by the way changes the range, was hitting at 42 to 43 meters. Post, light burst is hitting at 39 meters, with its heavy burst hitting at 41 meters. Now Graviton Lance, pre, 38 meters, with post actually going up to 39 meters. Collective Obligation, pre, 32 meters. Post at 34 meters. Now the Messenger at 100 range previously was hitting at 42 meters. Now it is now only hitting up to 40 meters. Peace of Mind, pre, at 61 range, 36 meters. Post, Peace of Mind is now hitting at 35 meters. Now BXR, pre, and I actually have two rolls here. One with 85 range, which was hitting at 40 meters, and one at 72 range with rangefinder at 42 meters. Now post, BXR at 85 range is reaching up to 39 meters, with our rangefinder roll only hitting up to 37 meters, which is to be expected. Now legal action. I don't think anyone really jumped up to use legal action, but its biggest benefit was that it had such high zoom. Previously, it was hitting at 44 meters. Now though, 37 meters. That is a hell of a drop there in range. Now scout rifles. Nothing here has really changed, guys. Base range is pretty much in line with what we were pre-season 22. Just the difference here now is that rangefinder doesn't do anything. Might Multi-Tool, for instance, is still at 74 meters, both pre and post. Jade Rabbit actually got a small buff from 85 meters to 86 meters, which I know, probably like Cross. How many maps am I actually going to be taking advantage of that? You may be surprised. Dead Man's Tale, pre, 75 meters. Post, Dead Man's Tale is actually hitting up to 84 meters. So we got a big bump there in range. Wicked Implement, which by the way, just got a massive rework, was hitting at 79 meters, now hitting at 80 meters. Touch of Malice, 77 meters, pre and post. Polaris Lance, pre, was hitting at 88 meters, actually got a 4 meter nerf, now hitting at 84 meters. Symmetry, 73 meters, pre and post. Skyburner's Oath, 100 meters, pre and post. Randy's Throwing Knife for a 53 range roll that I have, 78 meters, pre and post. Hung Jury, pre, at 64 range was hitting at 88 meters, now hitting at 80 meters, a whopping 8 meter nerf. Again, nothing that's gonna like cripple these weapons, but it's interesting to see these weapons get hit because of the zoom decoupling. So guys, those are our range changes. The main idea with this video is to kind of give you some insights on what has changed with these exotics. And we do have Trials of Osiris coming this weekend, so it may actually give you a couple of things to consider. Thorn is definitely one I'm gonna be using. I wanna see how it shakes out. I also feel like 120s are definitely back, and they were still good, especially in team shot environments. They do so much damage every single time you peek. Guys, we're continuing to put out sandbox videos. We'll have pre and post testing for all of the exotic changes, the exotic armor pieces, so be looking out for that. Fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching, and as always,
Slap that like button like your mama told you right.